We've all heard of multiple streams of income. Robert Allen wrote the book. We've all talked about multiple streams of income. Some of us have multiple streams of income. Others of us desire multiple streams of income. Today I'm going to talk to you about multiple streams for millionaire dreams. And I love the fact that it's not called multiple pools of wealth, but it's called multiple streams of income. I'm going to read a passage to you from Ecclesiastes, two passages. Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verses 1 through 6 first. It says, "Cast thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days. Give a portion to 7 and also to 8, for thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. If the clouds be full of rain, and they empty themselves upon the earth, and if the tree fall toward the south, or towards the north, in the place where the tree falleth, there it shall be. He that observeth the wind shall not sow. He that regardeth the clouds shall not reap. As thou knowest not what is in the way of the Spirit, nor how the bones grow in the womb of her that is with child, even so thou knowest not the works of God who maketh all. In the morning sow thy seed, and in the evening withhold not thine hand. For thou knowest not whether shall prosper either this or that, or whether they both shall be alike good." So that's the first passage. The second passage is Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 through 3. Here's what it says. It says, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God, for God is in heaven, and thou art upon the earth. Therefore let thy words be few. For a dream cometh through a multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by a multitude of words. Multiple streams for millionaire dreams. The second passage is talking about, like, don't talk about it, walk about it, right? Don't just run your mouth and say a lot of words thinking that somebody's going to be impressed with your words. Because a dream comes through a multitude of business doing something, but a fool's voice is known by the multitude of words. Now, here's what's interesting. He said, cast thy bread upon the waters. This is King Solomon talking, by the way. I want you to notice there are two types of bodies of water upon the earth. There are collections of water. Big collections of waters are called what? Oceans. A little bit smaller collections of water are called what? Seas. A little bit smaller. Now, so those are bodies of water. A little smaller, a lake. Smaller than that, a pond. Smaller than that, a puddle. Are y'all tracking? So there are collections of water, or what we could call pools of water. But pools of water aren't moving. I mean, they move with waves if the wind blows, but they're not flowing like a river, which is a second type of body of water. It's a flowing body of water. A river is a flowing body of water. A stream is a flowing body of water. A creek is a flowing body of water. Now, when I talk about pools of bodies of water, there are two types of pools of bodies of water. The two types of pools of bodies of water are a pool that has an inlet and an outlet, and a pool that has an inlet and no outlet. Now, I'm talking about this because we're talking about multiple streams of income. We're not talking about multiple pools of income. We're talking about multiple streams of income. And so a pool of water is a body of water. So pools of bodies of water, big pools of water that are alive, have an inlet and an outlet, and things live in them. Fish live in them, crawfish live in them, crabs live in them, alligators, crocodiles, sharks and dolphins. All of these different living organisms live in pools of bodies of water that have inlets and outlets. But in dead bodies of water, like the Dead Sea, like the Great Salt Lake, they don't have things living in them. In fact, the reason the Dead Sea is the Dead Sea is because it has an inlet, because you got two lakes or two seas in Israel. What are they? You got in the north, you got the Sea of Galilee, has an inlet and an outlet. You got the River Jordan. The water flows down the River Jordan into the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea receives and gives nothing. That's why it's the Dead Sea. So if you want your money to die, put it in a pool that has an inlet and no outlet. I said that too fast. If you want your money to die, put it in a pool with an inlet but no outlet. Here's the problem. Here's why a lot of people don't create wealth. They're more focused on wealth accumulation, money accumulation, cash accumulation than they are cash flow. Now I'm gonna tell you something. You may agree, you may disagree. I don't care. If you disagree, it's okay. We're still friends. You've been wrong before. I'll let you be wrong again. Okay, just kidding. So, understand this, that I would rather have $10 million, I would rather have $1 million of cash flow and no cash accumulated than $10 million of cash accumulated and no cash flow. I know I said that too fast for you, didn't I? Because cash flowing is cash growing. I wish I had some help in here. And so we've been programmed by the cultural hypnotic societal mechanism to accumulate big piles of money. You will never be rich until you understand that money, cash, is a tool to be used and not a pool to be viewed. You'll never be rich. And I'm looking at the camera because I want you to wrap your mind around what I'm telling you. As long as you, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, an employee, or as a human being that makes money, as long as you are a cheapskate and you are afraid to spend money, you cannot become rich. Because you've heard me say this before, but I'm gonna say it in a different context. Every word is a seed, every thought is a seed, every deed is a seed, and every dollar is a seed that I am sowing into the garden of my future. How many of y'all want to grow some big old money trees in your backyard? Wave at me, wave at me. You want to grow some big money trees in your backyard? Well, guess what? If you want to grow big money trees in your backyard, you have to sow money seeds. If you're unwilling to sow money seeds, you can't grow money trees. If you don't grow money trees, you can't produce money fruit. And so what happens is we have to stop building these dead lakes of money, so have to stop focusing on building these dead pools of money and start making sure our cash is flowing and turning into more money. So, multiple streams for millionaire dreams. The first thing we have to do if we want our millionaire dreams to come true, we have to have multiple streams of value. We have to create multiple streams of value. How do I create a multiple stream of value, Myron? I'm about to tell you. I often say, wealth is not money. What is wealth? Wealth is the value I create for someone other than myself. So if I am self-absorbed and selfish, I'm only gonna be thinking about me when I'm talking to you. If I'm thinking about me when I'm talking to you, I can't get wealthy. But if I'm thinking about how to solve your problem when I'm talking to you, now I can create wealth. So if I become obsessed with solving other people's problems, it's virtually impossible for me not to get rich. So I want to create multiple streams of value. Now, I can't create value for someone until I discover what's valuable to that someone. So how do I discover what's valuable in the marketplace to someone other than me? Well, I have to realize, where does value come from? Where does value come from? Value comes from more places than this, but these are the three places I'm going to talk about right now. The first place value comes from is past perceived voids create present pursued values. Now, here's what happens. You may not care about cars, and so you still drive your 1999 Jeep Wrangler, let's say, because you don't really care. Cars aren't your thing. But you may look at somebody who likes cars and they go buy a new Lamborghini, or they go buy a new Bentley or a Rolls Royce or whatever, Mercedes, whatever, and you may, they just think they're someone. Well, before you judge that person thinking you know why they're doing that, because you don't care about cars, because it's not your thing, if you bought that car, the only reason you'd buy it would be to show off. So you assume that when the other person bought it, the only reason they bought it was to show off. But that's not necessarily the case. See, past perceived voids create present pursued values. What does that mean? when I grew up, my parents never bought a new car. Never once. In my lifetime, in my house, growing up, did my parents ever buy a new car. I like cars. I don't buy cars to show off. I buy cars because I like cars. I like a particular kind of car. So I'm going to tell you what kind of car I like. The kind I don't have to work on at all. The kind that has a light that comes on and says, service required. I take it and drop it off. That's all I do. I just drop it off and I leave. Sometimes I leave with a loaner car. I come back, I pick up my car, and it's fixed. And I didn't fix it. Why? Now, that's valuable to me. Why? Because when I was growing up, all the cars I bought in my life were cars I had to fix before I could drive them. That was a past void. A car was a past void in my life, which created a present pursued value. That's why I have a handful of luxury cars that are really, really nice. Why? Not because I'm trying to show off. I don't really care what somebody thinks about me. I don't need anybody to think anything about me. But that's a past perceived void in my life. What's a past perceived void in your life? Right? Tony Robbins talks about the fact when he was a kid, he remembers being hungry. So what does he do? He feeds all these hungry people. Cool. Right? So whatever your path, I got to discover what's been missing in the past for the people I desire to serve. And then once I discover what's been missing in the past for them, I can offer that to them. And when I offer that to them, they're happy to pay me money. How cool is that? So past perceived voids create present perceived values. But that's not the only place value comes from. The second place value comes from is present perceived virtue creates present pursued values. What does that mean? Like what's virtue? Virtue is something good. So if in your mind, like feeding homeless people is virtuous, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna seek to do that good. You're gonna use your money to pursue that virtue, whatever that virtue is for you, right? I've got a guy who's one of my VIP students. And this guy, he said, I got out of the joint. When I got out of the joint, I was homeless. So what does he do? He says, every week I find some homeless people and I go and I hand out $100 bills to homeless people. Why? Because that's a perceived virtue. Like I'm gonna help people who are where I used to be because that's some good that I can do in the world, right? And so whatever is virtuous to you, whatever is a good thing to you, that's gonna be one of the things you value. So if you can help other people pursue their present perceived virtues, whatever that is, and for a lot of people that's money, for a lot of people that's fitness, and for a lot of people that's relationship, whatever it is, if I can help you achieve a virtue right now based on something I'm doing, you'd be happy to pay me. Or if you can help me, I'd be happy to pay you. So we got to understand this word value is not just the word value. We have to understand what creates value. So present perceived virtue also creates present pursued values, but also future perceived visions. So things that people are looking forward to in the future, that's their clear vision of the outcomes they desire to have. If I can help a person based on their past perceived voids, their present perceived virtues, and their future perceived visions, if I can help them achieve those things, that any one of those things, then they will pay me for doing that because that's the value, that's what's valuable to them. Here's the mistake we make. The mistake we make is we make the mistake of thinking that our past voids create values for other people when they don't ever. So if to me, cars is a past perceived void, but for you, cars is not a past perceived void. If I talk to you about, hey, if you learn how to do this skill, you'll be able to buy whatever car you want, you're like, I don't care, I already drive the car I want to drive. Right? If to me, present virtue is being able to, present virtue for me is being able to create a higher quality YouTube video, and that's my virtue, and you talk to me about solving all the problems in the world, then that may not be my present virtue that I'm perceiving, right? Or if I talk to you, to me, like, creating high quality YouTube videos is something good that I can do right now. And the better the quality, the better it serves people. So if it comes time for me to buy a new camera, I buy a new camera. New microphone, buy a new microphone. New whatever, I buy whatever I gotta do to create a higher caliber level of video, I'm gonna do that. Well, watch what happens. If I wanna talk, well, if you do this, you can have a better YouTube channel. But what if you don't have a YouTube channel? What if you don't care about having a YouTube channel? All you wanna do is go feed homeless people. Well, that's not going to be a present pursuit. So we talk to people about the things that we value, thinking that they're going to value them because we think they're valuable. They're only valuable to us because we value them. Let's say in the future, what you want to do is retire, but I don't want to retire. all I want to do is build successful businesses so I leave a better inheritance to my children, but that's not valuable to you. So if I talk to you about leaving an inheritance to your children, you're like, I don't care about leaving an inheritance to my children. All I want to do is retire, or vice versa. All you want to do is leave an inheritance to your children. I talk to you about retirement. You don't care. So I cannot uncover value to you. I can't deliver value to you until I discover what you value. How am I going to discover what you value? I'm going to ask you what's been missing in your life. I'm going to find out what you perceive as being the most good that you can do in the world. I'm going to find out what is the thing you desire in the future that you cannot have in the present. And if I talk to you about those things, guess what? Now I'm talking to you about something you care about. And when I talk to you about something you care about, you can't not buy. So that's value. Okay, we talked about that. So multiple streams of value. So what you have to do, how do I do it? I discover a void in the marketplace. I discover something, this void, this emptiness. So I talk to my client enough about them to discover what's missing for them, as opposed to talking to them about my product, my opportunity, my pieces, my process, my person. You get 75,000 hours of my time. They don't want 75,000 hours of my time. They want 75,000 hours of their time back, right? So I discover what's a void in the marketplace. Then I develop a value to fill that void. I discover, I discovered a void in the marketplace. Here's what I discovered. I discovered people don't know how to optimize businesses. So what did I do? I wrote Boss Moves. What's Boss Moves? BOSS is an acronym that stands for Business Optimization Success Secrets. Oh, Business Optimization Success Secrets. Boss Moves. Boss Moves. Business Optimization Success Secret Moves. So what are those moves? Move number 1, lead generation. Increase the lead generation. Move number 2, increase the conversions of those leads. Move number 3, increase the profitability through a premium value offer. Optimization number 4, move number 4 is create continuity so that you have passive income coming in every month without you having to go out and get it. And I teach those 4 moves, and those 4 moves are the 4 moves that change business owners' lives. And so what do? They keep coming to me in droves. Teach me how to do the moves. Teach me how to do the moves, right? So you develop a value that fills that void, and then you declare with your voice to that marketplace that you have the value to fill their void. It doesn't matter if you have the value to fill their void if you don't tell them. You have to figure out a way to tell them, let them know, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on Instagram, if it's in the classified ads. My brother-in-law John's here. Remember we used to run ads in the paper to sell the cars that we had fixed up, right? So that's what we used to do. We used to fix up a car, take out an ad in the paper, hope we had it ready by the time the ad came out, right? You have to use your voice to get your message to the marketplace that I've created a value to fill your void. Okay, that's multiple streams of value. Then, after we create multiple streams of value, we have to create multiple streams of volume. What does that mean? Once I discover what you value, now I want to create that value in volume. So, can I tell y'all a little secret? This is mind-blowing. Y'all ready? Let's say you want to make money on the internet. If you can make $1, you can make 10. If you can make 10, you can make 100. If you can make 100, you can make 1,000. If you can make 1,000, you can make 100,000. If you make 100,000, you can make 1,000,000. So if you find something that works, here's my best advice. Don't get bored with it, get paid with it. When you find something that works, stop suffering from entrepreneurial ADD. Oh, that worked really well. I think I'll go do something else. No! Put it on rinse and repeat. I do a challenge every month. It's called the Make More Offers Challenge. I do it every month. People say, Myron, how do you do that challenge every month? Don't you get tired of it? Tired of it? No. I don't get tired of it. I don't get bored with it. I get paid with it. I put it on rinse and repeat. I do it once a month. It takes me a week. It takes me 2 hours a day for 5 days in a row to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes millions. Do I get tired of it? As my granddaughter says, let me think. No, I don't get tired of it. I just keep doing it, right? So discover multiple streams of volume. Study the marketplace, the market of potential. What does that mean? That means I want to study the market's potential. What does that mean? That means I don't want to just find a market that has 2 or 3 people who want the solution. I want to find a market that has millions of people in it. One of the greatest discoveries of my entrepreneurial life. Are y'all ready? Fasten your seatbelt. Here it is. There are already thousands, potentially tens of thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of people in the world who would love to buy what you'd love to sell them at the price you'd love to sell it to them for if they only knew you existed. So Why are you telling me that, Myron? If you will do this one thing, you can stop trying to find people to sell to. Stop trying to find people to sell to. So what do? Make yourself more findable for the people who already want to buy what you already want to sell. There are literally, potentially, millions of people in the world who'd love to buy what you'd love to sell at the price you'd love to sell it for if they only knew you existed. Mind blown. Okay. So study the market, study a market's potential, then solve a massive problem. Massive problem means the problem is a big problem, and the pool of people that you solve it for is a big pool. Now, here's what I want to do. I want to solve a big problem that a lot of people, guess what? In the United States of America, I'm pretty sure there are 30 million businesses in the United States of America. 30 million. 30 million. Guess what I know about those 30 million businesses? 50% of the gross national product of the United States of America is produced by the square root of 30 million. What's the square root of 30 million? Something like 5,400. So 50% of the revenue of 30 million businesses is produced by 5,400, it might be 5,700. I did it once, I don't remember what it is. 54 to 5,700 businesses are producing half of the gross domestic product of 30 million businesses. That means the other 29,995,000 businesses are under-optimized. 29 million. Okay, I'm gonna give you a number. 29,995,000 of the 30 million businesses in the United States are under-optimized. That's a big pool of people that have a very big problem. Because 5,400, we'll just call it 5,400 businesses. 5,400 businesses are getting half the money that's in a pool with 30 million businesses. That's mind-blowing. If I can show those other 29,995,000 businesses how to do better, I'm going to get rich. Guess what? I'm like really, really rich. Guess what will make me even richer than that? If I figure out how to help those 5,400 businesses make more optimized better. That'll pay me even more. Now I have fewer clients, and I'm getting paid more money per client. I'm telling you, you got to have multiple streams of value, but you also have to have multiple streams of business. So you study a market's potential, then you solve a massive problem for that market, and then you sell with massive penetration. What is that? How do you sell with massive penetration? Be everywhere. The fastest and best way I have found to be everywhere so far, I'm not saying this is always going to be the case, but so far for me has been YouTube, which is why I create YouTube videos. So the marketplace can find out I'm there, and they can call me and say, can you help me solve my problem? Sure, pay me, I'll help you solve your problem. They pay me, I help them solve their problem. They say, hey, Myron, help me solve my problem. Boom, it's done. Okay, so multiple streams for Millionaire Dreams means I'm discovering multiple streams of value, and then I'm developing multiple streams of volume, and then I'm developing those multiple streams of volume with multiple streams of velocity. Velocity, what's that? Speed. Why? Because wealth is made with speed. What do I mean wealth is made with speed? I mean you, as an entrepreneur or an employee, you're already making enough money to be rich. Already. You're just making it too slowly. What does that mean? That means if you're making $50,000 a year, that $50,000 a year, that $50,000 is enough to be rich. Now, you're making $50,000 a year. If you change the $50,000 a year to $50,000 a month, congratulations, you're 12 times richer than you were when you were making. So the amount of money has not changed. The only thing that's changed is how fast you're making it. Wealth is made with velocity. If you will do this one thing, speed up the rate at which you generate revenue. Collapse time frames so you get paid faster. You don't need to get paid more, you just need to get paid the same amount faster. So if you take $50,000 a year and you turn it into $50,000 a month, you're 12 times faster. If you take $50,000 a month and you turn it into $50,000 a week, now you're 480 times richer than you were at first, and you're, whatever that turns out to be, like you start making that amount every week, I think you're 48 times richer than you were the second. Like, do you understand how powerful that is? Take your annual revenue, turn it into your monthly revenue. Take your monthly revenue, turn it into your weekly revenue. Take your weekly revenue, turn it into your daily revenue. and then work towards taking your daily revenue and turn it into your hourly revenue. The only thing you did was you speed it up. You didn't make more money. You made the same amount of money. You sell insurance. You don't need to sell more insurance. You just need to sell the same amount of insurance faster. You sell cars. You don't need to sell more cars. You just need to sell the same amount of cars faster. Increase the rate at which you generate revenue. And so wealth is made with speed. Wealth is measured in speed. What do I mean wealth is measured in speed? Wealth is measured more in speed more in time than it is in money. What does that mean? If you make $1 million, are you rich? The answer is it depends. What does it depend on? How long did it take you to make it? If I make $1 million, am I rich? Depends. If you work for 40 years and you make $25,000 a year, 25,000 times 40 years is $1 million. Are you rich? No. Why? It took you too long. But if you make that same $1 million in a year, now you're rich. Why are you rich? Because you made more money? No. You made the exact same amount of money, you just made it faster. Stop living like you think you're going to live to be 972. It's not going to happen. And start having some intensity, like live with some intensity, like live like you're dying. And like produce the results faster. So you want to have multiple streams of value, multiple streams of volume, and multiple streams of velocity. So because wealth is made with speed, wealth is measured in speed, and wealth is multiplied through steadiness. Your long-term wealth doesn't need to be fast. It just needs to be steady. Myron, should I get rich fast or slow? My answer is always the same, yes. You get rich fast, you multiply that wealth slowly. It's both, slowly and steadily. If you will do these things, you will discover that these multiple streams will work to help you produce your millionaire dreams. Hope that helps. Stay blessed by the best. Like, subscribe, comment, all that other YouTube-y stuff, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video. Peace out, Cub Scouts.